whatever I can control, I control. And so meaning the things I can control, like, working hard, um, getting out here to do what I have to do to raise money, holding myself accountable as well as my teammates accountable and vice versa. Um, working late, whatever needs to be done, whatever's in my purview, what I can control, I can control. What I can't control is people. And so things I can't control, I give to God. So that's my mantra, is that what I can control, I control. And what I can't, I say I give it to God. And I just believe in life that at some point, those between my efforts, which is what I can control, and between what I can't control that I give to God, we're going to meet, and I'm going to and I'm going to get where I'm destined to get. And that destined meaning, that's what I wanted to get. That's what I was focused on, and I got it because I believed it, and I worked hard to make sure that happened, as well as work smart.
Yeah, definitely have to work smart. Because one of the things I'm just curious to what your thoughts on this are is that Durham in particular, but definitely I would even argue other parts of North Carolina as well, have had a rich tradition of entrepreneurship. I'm thinking about like the old Haytide days and the Black Wall Street days. And then sometimes I wonder if are we in the middle of a new kind of renaissance with new entrepreneurs coming up, particularly in our community every day? But then also I wonder, because I know in the arts world, sometimes the artists don't seem to support each other as much as you might expect they would. But you just implied that a lot of the entrepreneurs are actually supporting each other. So I was wondering, do you find that there is more support among your entrepreneurship, or among your entrepreneur peers? And also, do you think that we're in the middle of, say, a new renaissance, whether that's a Harlem Renaissance or whether that was a Black Wall Street? Or are you one of those folks that, as some of our other folks have said in just conversations, that we can never recreate that kind of spirit that they had because it was such a focused entrepreneurship kind of spirit where it was happening strictly in our community, even though it was impacting other parts of the community as well? I mean, just even though it was in our African-American community, there was other people like even the Dukes that were getting their haircuts by Mr. America and people like that. But I was just wondering how you feel we're doing in terms of recreating a new version of some sort of renaissance in the area.
Yeah, I do think that there's there is a community of entrepreneurs, and they are, in my experiences, we have been supportive of each other. And that support, whether it's through ideas, whether it's just through listening to one another, that we have found sometimes in each other's own, how can I put it, slugfest, the things we go through day in and day out, that at times feels almost like a burden to us, becomes enlightenment to others. And what I mean by that is kind of what I said earlier, which is you realize through carrying this, what you at times feels like a burden, feels like, when am I ever going to break through and take the company to the next level? You find that it becomes enlightenment to others, because when you share it with others, they realize, like, oh, like I said earlier, so this is nothing new to me. This is nothing. You've gone through this, or you are going through it. Okay, that helps. That gives me hope. That gives me belief that I'm just not alone, that I can get through it. Especially when you find the person that says, I've been there. I can almost tell you the blueprint, what you're going through, and just hang in there. You're gonna make it through. Just hang in there. So, and as far as the other part of your question, do I believe, that are we on the mark of a new renaissance? Looking at the Black Wall Street. For me, what I don't try to get caught up in is into, that era. Hey, they had this, that, and I don't get caught up into all that, because to me, I don't try to. That's the past. The past is what it is. You live, learn from that past. That what went on. Those are our ancestors. You learn from them. But to me, to try to recreate that, in my opinion, it's just kind of you're you're not being true to what you currently have. And what you currently have is what they didn't have. They didn't have this type of technology. You know, companies, people are building companies faster, and with less employees. So you think about that. You have companies that are worth more money than they've ever have been worth before, and they do not have the manpower or the number of people getting that company across the finish line. So when you start looking at it and thinking it from that standpoint, that no, you're not going to be like, you know, the men and women doing Black Wall Street. And so, but again, I'm not one to kind of live back there. What I do believe is that we are in the midst of an entrepreneurship uprising, so to speak, where people are more willing to step out and start their own, because you have the access to online, to doing things online, the internet and technology, where it doesn't take all this money to start a company. You can say, hey, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to set up a Shopify store, and I'm going to start selling, you know, widgets, what have you, and I'm going to sell them, you know, in Germany. You know, I met a guy that was selling some type of dog type product, and African American gentleman, about 29, 30, and he was selling those products online, and the type of products he was selling, you couldn't readily really get them from the store. You had to get them from online, and he was one of the companies that carried them. And he sold those products. He sells those products in the States. And I know in the top four English companies, they call it, which is United States, Australia, Canada, and UK. But he also sold them in Germany. And one of the things he mentioned to me was that while you were asleep, I was making money, because parts of Europe has a 6-hour difference. And so, but he doesn't have he doesn't have a staff. And at the time I was talking to him, he just got back from Bali. So he was in Bali for a month, but still working, still making money. And he flew back into North Carolina, and he was flying back out to Greece later on. And so, again, you have a different era. You have a different time that gives people the opportunity to make money in different ways with the least amount of people, and make that money faster, bigger, greater, where it took those companies in those days a lot longer.
Because even the day job,
because
even the day jobs, and I need to wrap it up and everything, but even the day jobs seem to be going a lot toward the gig economy kind of philosophy, because I know that even some of the jobs that I have and everything, you can do part of the job from your house and everything. So we definitely need to be more in a stronger gig economy kind of base, and a lot more people are, like you said, traveling to other places to do their market. I know I was talking to a young lady that we're hoping to get on this show in the near future, who's involved in kind of the hidden image science NASA kind of world. As a African American woman who's, I believe, somewhere here in the North Carolina area, but she's going to a trip to Uganda, so we won't probably have her till like late September, early October, because she's got to get back from her trip to Uganda. But I don't know that would have been as possible in some of the earlier days, and when it was less of a gig economy the way it is now.
Yeah, and you're correct, and you're correct, and I think the internet technology has made the world feel or appear closer to what it really is. And so, like, even my prediction, especially the rate America right now, we're going at spending money. My prediction is, I think this, like, Generation Z and the generation after them, I think they're going to look at the world like we look at, like we look at states. And what I mean by that, I think people that are looking at employment are going to look at the world from a standpoint like somebody that says, hey, I live in North Carolina, they have a job opportunity in Arizona, and then they will take that opportunity, based on pay and cost of living, what have you, And I think the Generation Z and the generation after me will look at the world from the standpoint like, hey, yeah, I live in America, but France or Germany, there's a company over there that's giving me an opportunity where they're going to pay this amount of money. I'm not going to work that hard. I'm going to have a possibly, negotiate dual citizenship. Sure, why not? And I think that, I believe, is going to be another move I can see happening where governments are going to be fighting for resources. People, resources like, hey, I can take this American worker and bring them over here to work for us, and they will get this type of living. And so I believe that you will eventually see that as well. And along with entrepreneurship, which is the way it is now, where people say, I don't have to live where I live. I can go and live in another country and still make money. Like somewhere like Bali, cost of living is low, make a ton of money, and a ton of money could be $500,000 a year, but that money feels like $5 million because of cost of living.
And if you could, really quickly, if you could give folks the SpokeHub website and how to get in touch with SpokeHub, so that if folks are interested in learning more about the company, they can know how to do that. So we always like to give people an opportunity to provide their website as well. So if you could do that, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Sure. So SpokeHub is www.spokehub.co.co. And as far as, to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with myself. My email is Terry, Terry, .johnson@spokehub.co, as well as in our salesperson is Richard Berryman, and his email is Richard, RICHARD, .Berryman, BERRYMAN, @spokehub.co. Those are the best ways to get in touch with us, and definitely love to hear from some people, and definitely love to work with some people as well.
Sounds good. And where do you think SpokeHub, if you can answer in a few minutes or so, will be in, say, the next 3 to 5 minutes? Do y'all have any vision statements of where y'all are hoping to be? Are y'all hoping to compete with Microsoft?
So right now,
big boys.
Yeah, right now SpokeHub just brought on we brought on a new CEO by the name of Pamela Bishop, and so she's our new CEO, and she is. We really are fired up about having her on board. She's giving us different perspective, different outlook, and having a woman, and she's an African American woman at that. Having a woman on board that has a different outlook and sees things differently than us men, I welcome it. I love it. And we also have another woman that's in our leadership by the name of Jeannie Roberts Johnson, our business operations, chief business operations, and so we have a lot of exciting new things going on, and we're making some big, huge strides. So yeah, SpokeHub, we have some good things coming up, and the two people I just mentioned, Pamela Bishop as CEO and Jeannie as our chief business operations, is a testament of where we're going.
That sounds wonderful, and hopefully in the near future, I know I've talked to you about this just in passing conversations, but with Dean on the line, I can let you know this. Hopefully at some point we can get a Straight Talk app that's coming through SpokeHub and maybe some augmented reality so we can know what our listeners are talking about and thinking about on a regular basis, because that's the one thing that we haven't mastered yet is getting the reaction from the audience. But we've definitely had some great guests, everybody from Jillian Johnson to Steve Schul on to authors and musicians like Reese Palmer and poets like Dasana Ahanu and folks like that. But we haven't necessarily had the reaction element yet, except for what they report to us, meaning our main platforms, Blog Talk, and some of the other platforms. But having that kind of conversational thing might be something that I might have to talk to you about, trying to create for Straight Talk and figuring out we can use the SpokeHub, be a part of the SpokeHub family.
Definitely. Hey, I would love to. Like I said, Mark, man, I appreciate this opportunity, and so definitely love to continue, not only just to continue the conversation, but definitely love to see how we can also work together and kind of put some things together for you all as well. So definitely, you have my contact information, man. Let's keep this ball rolling.
Sounds good, and definitely look forward to doing that. Dean, you got any last minute thoughts as we wind it down?
Who, myself?
Yeah.
As
No.
in being.